So in my, this is Dr. Bradley again with part two of 2011's Introduction to the Avatar Project. In my previous segment, I forgot to show you this really wonderful photo of, a real wonderful sad photo of one of the warehouses that were set up during the flu pandemic of 1918, where victims of the flu were gathered together to try to quarantine them from the general population. So as you know, my historical avatar's name is Emmeline Bertha Holub, and she's born in Chicago and grows up and lives in New York, and I don't know what's going to happen after that. But I decided she would not die of the flu. I decided that her sister Louise, sadly, would die of the flu. This, by the way, is Emmeline, and this is her other sister, Denise, and the other ladies are their friends. What I'm trying to show you through the example of my historical avatar is that you have lots of room to be creative with the life story you create for this project. And you can revise the story to suit your interests as you go along. Your avatar will probably move. Most Americans did and continue to over the course of their lifetime. Your avatar can change character if he or she has events happen in his or her life that alter his or her worldview. Just remember this, you'll be doing 3 in-depth research chapters on different points in your avatar's life, and multiple short life story entries that will also involve some research. Your final project will morph together the shorter fiction assignments into one long story with illustrations. And I'm going to show you next one from last year, which will give you some idea of what I'm talking about. So this is the final written project of a current junior who did this project last year, and as you watch the pages go by, I'm going to read you the introduction on the first page. It says, I am an African-American man, Clarence Allen, born to lower-class parents in 1915. My parents are part of the large migration to the North during World War I. What were some of the challenges that I faced, that were faced by me and my family? My father was serving on the front lines of the battlefields of France and had left my pregnant mother because going to war was the only work he could find. He comes back a different man, and I am brought up with strict military discipline. I begin to lose my connection with my father because he seems more like my commanding officer than my dad. Later, around 1930, when I am 15 and the Depression is starting, I confront my dad with my feelings, and he breaks down because he only wanted the best for me. We reconnect and share a strong bond as I turn into an adult during the hard times of the Great Depression. What kind of challenges would an African-American teenager face in the 30s? I enroll in the prestigious Tuskegee University, returning to the South where my parents came from. In 1939, war breaks out. An upstanding patriotic 24-year-old, I join the military against my father's most vehement objections. During this turning point in my life, I become a Tuskegee Airman. I am deployed as part of the 332nd Fighter Group, 99th Squadron. I support the Allied invasions of Sicily and Italy, despite early acceptance issues. What was my experience like as a Tuskegee Airman? I came out of the war a 30-year-old, getting back to my family in New York. It turns out that while I was fighting a war, my mother was fighting a losing battle with cancer. She died shortly after I came back from war. What was the extent of cancer treatment, if any, in this time period? Since I had an education, I knew I would at least do something with my life. What were the options for an educated African-American World War II veteran? Like many of his classmates, this student started with a historical event that he already knew about, and then the rest of the story flowed from that. The historical event that he began with was the story of the Tuskegee Airmen, so it didn't have to be the starting point. It could come mid-life. So I invite you to have fun with this project, and we'll take it day by day. Thanks. Bye-bye.